So, today we're gonna talk again about the book about happiness or on happiness. I still don't know what it is called, unfortunately, but I don't believe that this is that big of a deal. So we're just anyway gonna go through it, and we're anyway gonna talk about it, and we're gonna go ahead with chapter 14, which is called "Who Made Who." I don't know what it's gonna be about, but we're actually nearly done. Well. I actually do have to say, I thought, we are already having chapter fucking 14, so is it going to just last a bit longer? And because of this little knob there on the right side, I thought, we are only fucking halfway through. But in fact, we are nearly done. So I could have also gone through that on the last episode as well. But yeah, anyway. If it is one more episode or one less episode, who cares? Who cares? There is no scientific way to prove something does not exist, such as a designer of the universe. You cannot prove a negative. Since neither side of the grand design debate cannot conclusively prove they are right, it is all a matter of probability. It is a question of which side is more likely to be true. Doing the math, it takes way more time and possibilities to create the universe than its age, almost impossible without intervention. Factoring in entropy, in which things have a tendency towards chaos and it decreases the odds. Similar to how it is possible an Audi could appear randomly with enough chances, but it is not probable. Audi meaning or actually Audi, since it is a fucking German car, let's also pronounce it in a German way. We cannot think the car would be produced by evolution alone. If the universe had infinite time to try, then maybe, but this is a myth. Age of universe since Big Bang is about 13.7 billion years. Earth is 4.5 billion. Primitive life is 3.7 billion years ago. It is very short for a task like creation. Ultimately, the math is clear. Nothing is random. They are all part of a grand design. The designer doesn't run the show, his equations do. But you don't have to worry about all the questions or equations. Focus on your happiness equation. Now it is actually equation, as it is the only one you can fully control. Yes, the thing is, you can't control how tall you are. You can't control the genetics that you're having. You can't control how, I do have, I don't know if you can see that. I know what I'm going to show you. I do have an abnormal chest. So my chest is bent inwards. I don't know what I believe that in English it is actually the Latin term, and also the medical term that you use for this. So my chest is not normal. It also does not look normal, This is a fact, it is what it is. But the thing is, I can't change anything about that. There is some quote-unquote consequences to that, apparently. But I will never know, what it would have been like living without this condition, or this changing condition, or whatnot. And yeah, it is what it is. You can't change. You can change a lot of things, but you can't change everything. When it comes to your body, you do as well can change a lot of things. But whether it is structured in that way, whether your face is looking this or that way, you can't actually change it. At least that's the fundamental things. Of course, by eating healthy, by working out, by leading a healthy lifestyle, you can indeed just look prettier than you're looking right now. Just because your skin is going to be better. Maybe you're not going to be as fat or as bloated in your face and whatnot. Which by the way, is the case for me. When I haven't been sleeping that much, I do clearly notice that my face looks less defined. Maybe it is also due to me just not being in the best shape that I've ever been, but I'm gonna just be in that. I am quote unquote prepping. I'm just, doing things with my diet. I'm just more strict and stuff. But yeah, and also with my workouts and stuff. But anyway, I don't know. We can do a lot of things, but we can't do everything. And there is going to be a limit, But yeah, of course you can do surgery and that shit. But yeah, you can. Maybe, sometimes we should. When it comes down to just us dying and stuff, I do also understand that, if somebody is just really, 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 really unhappy about how their nose looks or their ears or whatnot, then yeah, okay, we can change it, and when you have the money and when there is no problem and when there is not a high risk of just making it even worse, yeah, I mean, why not? I ultimately don't care. I just want everybody to be happy, and I want everybody to be healthy and safe. And I don't know. I mean, if you're happier when you just look a different way, could be the case. Then yeah, it is what it is. I just don't want to be like, well, I don't want to be so absolute. Like, there's so many nuances to life. There's so many different scenarios and situations. Like, of course, there are some things I totally am absolute about. I'm not going to give you any example, but there are things. But most often in life, it is like, there is so many different facets. There's so many different shades of gray. I don't know, by saying this is this and that is that and whatnot, I don't know if you're just making anything good. Main ideas or themes. Everyone seeks happiness as much as they seek air to breathe. The easiest way to become great at something is to do something that makes you happy. Even though I do always want to say and kind of not really reverse that, but put it into a different light. You could also think about it in that way. You can find passion in whatever you do. You can do that, but you can also just work on something you're passionate about. So I do not really want to say that you should only be working on things that you're passionate about, just because you can also find passion in whatever you're doing. You can, of course it's not going to be easy, and of course it's not something that's too easy, but we can do it. Happiness, your perception of the events of your life, your expectations of how life should behave. True joy is to be in harmony with life exactly how it is. The easiest way to become happy is just to be happy. Remove the unhappy thought, replace it with a happy one, and let the rest take care of it itself. Life is like the coffee that we want. If you want to live a stressful life, or stress-free life, ignore the cup and just enjoy the coffee. As much as you think so, you're not the star of the movie. There's many other people and many other players. Time plays a big role in perpetuation and creating unhappiness. If you want to be happy, live in the here and now, and not in the past nor in the future. The two things in your control are our actions and our attitude. Yes, not the weather. It is raining outside. I'm actually quite fine with that, but even if it is, I don't know, even if I would like to just ride my bike or whatever it might be, it is what it is. I can complain about it, but I'm only making things worse for myself because I'm complaining about it. So why should I then care? Why should I then complain about the weather? I can't change it anyway. Just a waste of time and energy, and also happiness in the end as well. Schedule in me time for yourself. Give yourself a timeless experience without access to anything with the time, which I think is actually a pretty good idea. I think basically doing nothing, isn't it the case? You're basically doing nothing. And I do have to say, I can understand it. I don't necessarily think that it is something that I want to do, but I do think that it could really help, to just feel yourself again, because I believe that we are pretty often very distracted, whether on purpose, which is something that I think about, but I'm going to talk about that a bit later on, or it is just how it is, and I do not really want to blame just social media or just the internet in general or phones and technology. Yeah, maybe, maybe they play a role in this discussion there, but I wouldn't solely blame them. It is just, I think, we as a society changed in general, and yeah. Gratitude is a sure path to happiness. Look down instead of up and be grateful at how lucky you are. There's no taking in true love. The true joy in true love is in giving it. Law of conservation, or multiplication of love. Love never goes to waste. The more you give it away, the more love you will feel and get back. Behind the mask, even the most seemingly hateful, annoying, and egocentric people are just peaceful children who just want to be loved and also appreciated. Love yourself, as you cannot give or receive love otherwise. Most unhappiness in the world comes from a widespread deprivation of self-love. Be kind. The ultimate form of giving is forgiving. Our mortality is ironically what our mortality ironically is a life coach. Accepting the truth of death will set you free. Letting go and allowing things to leave from you, life allows space for better things to come in. And once again, this is a very important one for me. The funny thing is, you could really think about that on a macro level, but you can also think about it in a very micro level. Micro being, for example, there sometimes on my weekends, and I kind of get mad. I kind of get mad just because I don't necessarily think that I'm doing something that's smart, and I'm doing something that's useful, and then I get angry. When my friends don't have any time, or if they're just doing something else, or whatnot. Which is it is the case. It is the case. I don't necessarily want to say often, but it is the case. But the thing is, like, maybe this is just how it should be. Maybe this is how I should live. Maybe this is kind of a, you could say, okay, this is what God did. You could also say, okay, this is what the universe did. I often feel like, well, this is my faith. It is my faith to have such a day, to do this and to do that. And if you don't think about it in that way, at least in my point of view, you could also definitely use religion in that way. You could also definitely use something else, another belief. You can, I think, find meaning and also peace in these situations, by being like, well, this is what it is, and this is maybe even what it is supposed to be like. You can only deal with it. It is what it is. Wow, okay, I do have some time for myself. I do have some time to work on some things. I do have some time to think through things and maybe get some shit right. But yeah, which actually leads to another thing, but I first of all want to go through the rest of it and then I'm going to talk about that. But yeah, life is a game and that the difficulty makes it fun, whereas easy would make it boring, which I often thought about as well. But yeah, easy doesn't necessarily mean boring. I do want to point that out very quickly. Easy is easy. And, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good, but I do want to say and believe and think that we need a challenge as well. So I would definitely say so. Period. Closing thoughts. I love this book a lot. During the week I was listening to it while walking around my neighborhood. I had to periodically stop and pause for thought. I kept thinking about the concepts I just heard about and apply that new lens to my own life. For example, I stopped several times to evaluate my own happiness in my life today and analyze what factors contributed to it. Then it brought it back to how the author says our happiness comes from things like comparison, expectations versus reality, and time. Also, it was a great reminder to not ruminate on things out of my control or about people who are simply acting in their own self-interest and not necessarily to hurt or spite me. It was a good reminder to focus on gratitude, live in the present and realize what is really important. I can't control external circumstances, but I can control my actions and my attitude in response to what happens. And I think your response to, wow, okay, my friends don't have any time for me today or this weekend, the whole weekend, could be, well, now I'm gonna just be unhappy, now I'm gonna be just raging. But it could also be like, well, now I have some time for myself. Now I can do something that I've always wanted to do. Now I can actually meet new people maybe as well. Just various different things that you could just take in consideration and various different ways how you could also just change this situation into a better one. Overall, I highly recommend this book to pretty much everyone. I know I say that a lot, but this one particularly so because it deals with happiness. As the author says, everyone wants to be happy, but our default state seems to be worry and stress. Of course, our brains were designed this way to keep us alive. However, in this new world, it is so important to constantly solve for happy. One takeaway: putting things into practice. There are so many great takeaways that if the reader implements even just one, they are sure to see a dramatic improvement in their lives. My one takeaway that I want to start implementing more is whatever it is we do in our lives should directly solve for happy. I think this is a great reminder of prioritization, similar to the book Essentialism that I read recently, that doing what matters most is more important than just doing things. However, the focus here is to do things that actually make you happy. For me, that's spending time and connecting with my loved ones, loving and spreading joy, being creative and constantly growing, learning new things. If I just do those several things and not compare my life with others, I will be happy. And I do think it is incredibly important and an incredibly also difficult task from time to time to just figure out what is making you happy. Just doing things and seeing, well, okay, this is making me happy, that is making me happy. And yeah. Nutshell, after losing his son, Mo Gawdat, uses his engineering mind to solve, quote unquote, for happiness, everything you need to know about happiness and how to be happy. Yes, some thoughts that I actually 5 out of 5. I do also want to point out that side note, wow, it seems like there are a lot of books I've read that relate to happiness, haha. Well, I can understand that. I really can understand that. Because I don't know, like as he also said in the book, like we all want to have happiness. We all want to just get to somewhere, I guess. Something that I want to point out very quickly. And I don't necessarily want to say that it is something that you should be doing. I don't want to necessarily say that this is something that is smart to do or whatnot. But I'm not happy when I'm able to think. When I do have too much time to think, and when I'm not in a place of doing something, whether it is work, but I've especially seen it in school. The only problem there is that, of course, I'm not going to be unhappy in school. I've had all my loved ones. I had all my friends. Well, not all of them, but some really dear, good friends in my class. And of course, it's been a good time. Of course, it's been fun. Of course, it's been amazing. I've also had my girlfriend in class, which, I could actually do an own video on that. I think it could actually help people, maybe. But this is also a cool thing. Of course, there's downsides and upsides and whatnot. But it is also just, quite amazing, having all your loved ones around you and just in the same space. And then also just, the thing is, I've attended a graphic design school, for people that don't know. I'm a graphic designer. I've graduated actually this year in summer. And I don't know if I've enjoyed the school just because of the people, or I've, all the things that I've done, or if I just enjoy the things anyway and the people were just an additional good thing. But people really play a big role in my life. I love people, and it's a very important thing for me. I like to connect to people and with people, and I just really love to be around my friends and loved ones, and back in the days, girlfriend and whatnot. It's amazing things. And it is something that I personally, unfortunately, only appreciated when, quote unquote only, when it was too late. It is one of the things that I've, at first I didn't really see it. That, okay, not having a girlfriend means that I'm gonna have a lot of fucking time. Which does not necessarily mean something good. It does not, you can have a lot of time, but if you just spend your time doing some things that you don't like, or for me, it is like, I don't like not doing things. I need to be active. I need to have something on my mind. At this point in time, maybe even more, just because I don't know, I have to deal with things and then whatnot. But back in the days, it's been also the case, I don't like sitting around. I don't like doing nothing. I don't like just watching YouTube all day long. I enjoy that, don't get me wrong, but only after I've done something just great, or I've done something and or just in certain places. Of course, when I'm with my girlfriend, okay, we're gonna watch a fucking movie. Yeah, I'm fucking fine with that. I enjoy that. But yeah, I kind of feel like that I always need to do something, and this is something good for me, and therefore I thought about, if this is the case, so let's work on Saturdays. I'm gonna get myself a job and work something. The problem then is this going to make me happier? I don't know. I think it is going to make me happier, but only in the time when I'm working. But maybe after work, I'm gonna be like, wow, I'm actually done for the day, so I'm just gonna do things that I enjoy, and I'm gonna do things that I do. This could also be the case, definitely. And also I thought about starting BJJ, so Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or just some other contact sport. I don't know if it is the best time for doing so. I wouldn't necessarily say so, to be honest. But on the other hand, I'm dealing with so many people every single fucking day just because of my quote unquote new job. It is insane. So in the end, I don't know. On the other hand, I don't necessarily know, or I don't really know if it is something that is gonna make me happier. It could be, but is it only like just trying to fill my life with something? I don't know. I have to figure that out. But yeah, with that being said, I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing. 3 Alex Jones, have you are. Why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully gonna show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is also a pretty fucking cool thing. Last question that I have you is, what could you essentially say to another person that is really indeed gonna change their life? What can you say? Because I believe we all can say something. We can all give another person a compliment, which is amazing, but not a lot of people are doing that. So focus more on doing that. But yeah, I'm gonna see you the next time. So please stay healthy and safe and take care of yourself. So bye bye.